Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm. We've been doing plenty of work today. In fact, over the last couple of days we've been clearing beds and having a bit of a tidy round, and we're going to be preparing those beds for overwintering and spreading some muck onto them. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. I'll show you. Now, as you can see, we have still got stuff in the ground. We've got greenery going on, but a lot of the main beds, well, apart from that one which I've put an extra crop in, there are a couple I put extra crops in obviously, but there is a time really when it comes to leaving the ground sort of fallow and re-enriching the soil, which is what we're going to be doing. So with this long bed in particular, it didn't get any manure last year. This one did, but that one didn't. So it's going to get manure this year. All we're going to be doing is what we've done in this bed, which is we weeded that one completely. We did a lot of these beds completely, leaving them weed free. And then we're stacking on about 3 or 4 inches of horse manure. Now it's better if you can get cow manure, because of the extra stomachs. You get rid of the grass seeds and stuff. So there will be grass seeds in that. That's not really well rotted. It's only partially rotted down. But it's all we could get. So when you do that, we're laying on the layers of compost on the top of it, of manure, sorry, on the top of it. And then what will happen then, over the next sort of 4 or 5 months, is the worms will do a lot of the work for us. The worms will come up, they'll drag down the nutrients out of the horse manure and take it down into the soil. And then come winter time, all we'll need to do is fork that over, come the spring rather, fork that over, and it shouldn't be too far off being ready for planting up. So yeah, this morning we picked up 14 bags of horse manure. There's 12 left there. Some of them smaller than others, but altogether we picked up about half a ton of horse manure from the stables. Now, as you can see there, it's been stood out in the weather, and some of it has got grass already growing in it. And when you pull these out, some of them, I think this sort of stuff is quite well rooted. Decent roots on it. But all we're going to be doing with that is taking that out, throwing it into the compost bins, and then the actual manure is going to be spread, as you saw in that last bed, on the top. So a good couple to 3 inches of manure going on top. As I say, the worms will come up, the widdly worms, and drag that down over the next 3 or 4 months. In fact, probably 5 months until we're ready for planting in it. So it's going to be sort of like April time, end of May, beginning of April, before we start planting stuff in there. So come end of February, beginning of March, we're going to be starting off the seedlings, or the seeds, in here in the polytunnel for our brassicas. Cauliflower, calabrese, or broccoli to the layman, cabbage and whatnot. We're going to be started off inside here because it's going to be warmer. It's going to be 3 or 4 degrees warmer in here than it is outside. And also it's going to be protected from pests quite a bit more than if it's just been thrown in the soil outside. So we're going to start them off in trays inside here. So this is all preparation really for next year. You're talking 4 or 5 months before these beds are going to be used again. We're going to be using a lot of the beds for onions and garlic for overwintering. Excuse me. But for next year, now's the time to prep really. We're coming into October now, so you'll have October, November, December, January, February, into March, almost 6 months really, for that compost. I keep saying compost, for that horse manure, that manure to rot down and be pulled down by the worms, in readiness for your planting up. So I'll just show you the setup. So this is a netted hoop bed that's 6 feet by 4 feet, and in there you can get 12 plants. You can get 12 of the brassicas in there. So yeah, what I've done is I've left the netting on. I've just tied it back, as you can see there, with some garden twine, some garden string, and that just keeps the net out of the way over winter. Top dress there then with the horse manure, as you can see there. As I explained before, the worms will come up. You'll have birds pecking through it, robins and whatnot, looking for grubs and bits and bobs. Leave it exposed like that for the next 5-6 months maybe. And that should have worked its way in and integrated itself with the soil that's below it. The soil's quite a rich loose mix as it stands, but that'll be mixed in. Come next year, when we're ready for planting up, we'll be liming that to prevent club root. So we'll be putting garden lime on it as well. And that'll be sort of forked in and integrated in as we're planting our plants in. If you've seen some of the previous brassica episodes, we always put a teaspoon of garden lime in with the brassicas as we're planting them, along with other measures. Now this year, that was used for brassicas this year. No evidence of club root, didn't get too molested by pests, so we're again going to use this bed next year. A lot of people favour rotating your beds every year. A lot of the guys down here on our site don't tend to do that. They just look after the beds and keep an eye on the pest problems and the disease problems. If there's no issues, then they use them once, twice, maybe even 3 times before they'll rotate those beds and use other beds for doing the different crops. I'm actually rotating half of the beds and putting different crops in, and the other ones we're just putting the same crop in as we did last year. So in this bed we'll have the brassica in the first early part of the year up until sort of June, July, and then in July into August we're going to be planting something else in there. So we're going to try and get 2 crops out of each bed next year. That is the plan. I don't want to waffle on, but that's what we're going to be doing. So that bed's there tied up, the netting's tied up, the hoops are still in place, the manure's going on there. I'm just going to leave that then. I'm not even going to cover it. Now come next year, there'll be weeds coming up through that. We'll just pull the weeds out when they come up. Fork it all in. Happy days. So that's what we're on with. We're going to be doing that, as I say, with quite a few of these beds, but we are going to be leaving, I think, about 4 or 5 of the beds open so that we can get the onions in and the garlic. That's going to be sort of like mid to end of October time, the overwintering garlic and the onions. We're going to be using 2 varieties. We're going to be using Senshu onion, which are the Japanese Senshu. They're all going to be going in there. And also we're going to be putting Snowball in, which is another type of overwintering onion, which did okay last year. That's a white onion, very white. The Senshus are sort of a beigey one, like your normal standard onion. And they both did well last year. The reds didn't do anything last year over winter, they were crap. So we're not going to be doing them. We are going to be doing the garlic though. We're going to be doing the Casablanca garlic. I think I can show you the Casablanca garlic. I think I've got some in here. This is all for the upcoming show. But there's the Casablanca garlic. Yeah, white Casablanca. And the onions. Again from sets. They're not started off from seed, but these are onion sets called Senshu. And they're going to be going overwintering directly into the earth. I'll show you what I've got growing on at the moment actually. The beds are still quite full. So we've got this bed of leeks in here, which are starting to show signs of rust on the leaves. Starting to die off a little bit around the bottoms and the bases. They're going to be coming out shortly. And then that bed's going to be prepared for next year, where we're going to be having broad beans in at the first part of next year. That's the bed, which is just a mixture of leaf, different types of leaf. So in there we've got amaranth, we've got different sorts of beetroot, we've got spinaches. The slugs love it, as you can see. But these are just like pickers. Every time you can come down, you come down, you pick a few of them, these leafy greens, take them away, have salads with them. Once I've cleared out this salad side, the beets that are in there will be coming through. And we'll just have that for beets. That's a beet bed. We've weeded in there, taken a lot of the horsetail out. It's infested. It was infested with horsetail. I've got a lot of clearing up still to do, but it's an ongoing task. It's an ongoing project. As you can see up here, a disgrace. There's the mint that's took over around the base of that knackered apple tree. Still got some purs I need to take off. Took about 40 purs off this last week. There's some more to still come off there and ripen off. The conference purs ripen off the tree. We've got beets and we've got chard in that one. Beets and chards. Different sorts of beetroots in there as well. We've got the multicoloured mix of beetroots. I've still got some cauliflower growing on in here. Obviously the peas, a little bit of a herb bed there with some sage, some rosemary and thyme, some Welsh onion, the one that sort of spreads its wings and reproduces itself. These are some onions that I put in a while ago, but they're not really doing very well, so I'm going to take those out and just take the green shoots off, I think, and then we'll use that as an onion bed. So that's going to be an onion bed that's not going to be manured. That's going to be one that's not going to be manured. That's going to be a garlic bed down there. So garlic's going in there. Garlic's going in there. Onions are going to be going in there. That's going to be full of onions, potentially, if I don't just manure it. In fact, no, I'm going to manure that. I've changed my mind. I'm going to manure that. I'm going to onion these two ends here. This is on the lady farmer's side. So we're going to have onions in here. Oops, tripping up. Onions in there and onions in there. We're going to have 2 garlic beds and 3 onion beds. Potentially 4 onion beds. But the rest of it's going to be manured. Going to get all the manure down on it. This part of the garden, which is sort of midway down the allotment, gets the most sun through the day. The top end doesn't, particularly, because of that great big tree. Massive sycamore tree there that's a bane in everybody's life that we need to get cut down. It's going to cost about 700 quid. Anyway, that's a story for another time. But yeah, so we've got the beets growing in there. They'll be coming out in the next sort of like 5-6 weeks. The chard I'm going to try and leave in there over winter and just pick some leaves off as they come. Peas, yeah, waffling on. The roses are coming to the end of it now. They're going to be tied back and straightened out. This has got to all come out. Yeah, all these climbers have got to come out. Those peas can be left in to see what they do. These are obviously fruit bushes. We've got blackberry and raspberry in here, different types. We've got the yellow ones, which are very nice in here, actually. The yellow. And they're very nice. My little boys have been picking them like there's no tomorrow, so there's not many left on there. But we've not done too badly with those this year. We've done alright. Not as good as last year, but we've done alright. Strawberry beds are staying. Just got to keep on top of the grass that's pulling through. That's going to be moved. That's going to be a pond. It's a pond line of that. So we're going to trim that up and make a pond up at the top. Got these pallet collars. Now all I'm going to be doing with these pallet collars is carrots, I think. I'm going to thin out that, put a sort of a nutrient-free compost in there, thin mix, get the carrots in, see what we get out of that. That's going to be early next year. Start them off in there, probably about March. But yeah, onions and garlic are going in there. This one's going to be topped off with the manure. So as I say, half of them are going to get the manure treatment. This is going to get the manure treatment. The bean bed, pea and bean bed. These are all pea and bean. That's all coming out in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to take all of these frames out, all the netting out, and sort that out. There's a lot to do because it's a big old plot, really. This. I'll show you an aerial view of it in a second and show you what's going on, because it is a big old plot. This. I mean, it took us half a day just to get the weeding done and the bed prepping done yesterday. And we've only done about half of it, if that. About a day and a half's worth, really, if you wanted to do all the lot. And you'd have to get stuck in to do that, boys and girls. Look at this here. This is coming out, this apple tree. Waste of time, that. Last 3 years that we've been on here, we've not had an apple off it. There have been apples on it, but the bugs always destroy them before we get a chance to get to them. And it's a cooking apple tree, but we've got a cooking apple tree. In fact, there's 2 cooking apple trees at Helen's mum's, so we don't need it. It's shading things out, it's a pig, it's in the way, it's going, and beds are going to be going there, flower beds and whatnot. This apple tree is going to be coming out. The pear tree may stay. The cherry tree is going to be coming out, and the pond's going to be going here. That's where the pond's going to be going, in there. Got the winter collies that I put in the other day in here. They're still alive, still doing all right. See how they get on. Yeah, I'm digressing, aren't I? There's all the tomatoes that we took off the tomato plants. And we've just left them there hanging to ripen up in the polytunnel. Yeah, alright. Juicy. This is going to have to get a good tidy up. There's a lot of tidying up and clearing up we're doing at the moment. A heck of a lot. This is going to create a continuation of this path down the centre. You can see there we've got 5 good paving slabs and a couple of broken ones. I want to pick up a couple more from somewhere, I think, and just continue on and finish this path off. That's going to be a project, a sort of late autumn winter project as well for us to do. Just a lot of clearing up. It's a right mess, isn't it? I'll get a picture off the top, get some video off on the top of it. We've also got, as I say, we've got plenty of French climbing beans still going on. We've even got a few courgettes still left on these. But the French climbing beans, they're ready for picking those now. They're a nice size, those, about 4 inches, 4 to 6 inches you want with these. I have taken quite a few of these beans off as well, and we're saving the seeds. They're the cobra seeds, cobra beans, that we got from Kelly Bramwell at Kelly's Kitchen Garden. And they've just been the gift that keeps on giving. They're great, these French climbing beans. You get lots of food from them. And with any of the pulses, the beans, the peas, it's quite protein rich. Yeah, so if you're a veggie or a vegan, you need your protein, don't you? You don't want to get it from meat. Look at that one, it's pierced its own leaf there. Stabbed its own leaf. Beans and peas are a good source of that protein. We've got loads more down there, see. I'll just get a video off the top. I'll get up them ladders and take a quick video off the top. This is my shed, the Tiki Hut. If you're new to the channel, it's called the Tiki Hut. We've got the solar panels on top that harvest the power of Ra, the sun god. These are 200 watters, these. I need another battery. I've only got one leisure battery. I need 2 at least, probably 3. But from the view from up here, you can see the sort of size we're talking about. It's 70, what was it, 70, no it's not, it's 30 yards up to the top. It's 20 across of the two, so it's 20 by 30, giving us 600 square yards. I don't know what that equates to in acreage, certainly not an acre, but it's probably around about 1/5 of an acre, something like that we've got. I've just pulled the damsons off that. There was about 20 damsons on that damson tree. We didn't get a single plum off that one, and it stands about 20 feet high. That it's useless. It's coming out. That tree's coming out. That damson tree may well come out as well, so we can clear all the land of those trees and stop the shading out issues and get more of a flow around the garden. I'm going to be tallying up how many buckets and containers I've got there as well, as they're dotted about all over, and the winds will be coming soon, so I don't want them getting blown all over the place, do I? So I'm going to tally all them up and secure them somewhere. As you know, we collect our own water. If you look underneath there as well, got the water butts, and we collect the water off the top of the roof. That comes down into the gutter and fills up our water butts. We've got the same sort of thing going on with the greenhouses as well. But yeah, this is how we're looking at the moment. A lot of weeding, a lot of clearing, a lot of shit shifting to be done. And yeah, we'll make it look pretty, don't worry about that. Next couple of weeks, it'll look brand new again. I'm hoping to get that flagging done. We call them flags, these, in the UK. Certainly in the northern part of the UK. but it's paving slab, sidewalk or whatever that goes up the middle, and that stops around there. And there's those thin ones. I'm going to take those out and use them as a planter or something, but continue on with the paving slabs all the way up to the top there. Yeah, so there's some beds that are clear, as you can see. I've just gone around with the hoe, hoed them up, pricked out any weeds, and try and keep on top of that. Do an hour a day on it. I haven't been getting down quite as much as I usually do because of other factors, but I'm going to set aside at least an hour a day to sort these out. These beans are, they'll probably carry on to about 10 foot, them beans, I bet. Those climbing French beans. Bit windy up here as well, isn't it? But yeah, this is the actual site that we're on. Great, isn't it? Everybody's getting stuck in, everybody's doing a bit. We're all up to stuff, up to much good. There's Magical Mix and Cooperman next door. Joe the wise old elf, immaculate as ever. He's got it well set up there, Joe. If you've seen any of the wise old elf shows, you'll know what I mean. If you haven't, check them out. It's down in the playlist, the wise old elf. So yeah, we're going to have a couple more building projects coming up over the next couple of months as well. Certainly we're going to be looking at getting cold frames on the go. Getting some cold frames in. And all that jazz. Yeah, great, isn't it? Right, I'll see you all next time, boys. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. This is Guru Mafinda signing out. And remember, we love you all. I'm going to be signing on to work in a bit. I'm working this afternoon, so yeah. I'll catch you when I catch you. Alright. Keep growing with your head down, that's the key. You can grow through winter, and we are going to be growing through winter. And yeah, we'll keep you posted. Take care, one and all. I hope you're having a great day and a great week and great growing results. See you in a bit, boys and girls. Bye bye.